Hey, Antia, how you going? Just going to be a short stream today. Just stitching the sheath together. How are we this evening? Yeah, I'm alright. I'm living. Staying alive. Hey, no trick. Something like that. I actually wanted to do another music stream over on Insta, but I need to get this done. So, stitching it is. And I need to keep the YouTube channel alive, so a few views and stuff like that isn't going to kill me. Let's see. So I'm just saddle stitching this sheath. Saddle stitch is probably one of the best stitches for leather that there is. It's tedious, but it's strong. And the reason it's strong is A, because I'm using an artificial sinew. All good, aren't you? Which is nylon based, but also because each stitch is tied. So go through, wrap the needle, and then pull the needle through, and that ties a half knot in the inside the stitch. See the hole? Hey Chris, how you going? And you just cinch them nice and tight on every stitch. And the reason this is good is because if one of the stitches pops during use, during its wearing, or if when you put the knife in you accidentally push too hard and end up putting a hole in your stitch, like popping one of your stitches, the whole thing isn't going to come unraveled because each stitch is tied. So unlike a machine stitch from a sewing machine or a standard cross stitch, they're less likely to unravel on you. With a bit of practice, you can get pretty fast at this. Yeah, you and me both, Stefan. Kydex, fair enough. Goes a bit faster. How you going, Zach? If I had access to my shop, this would all go very fast. But I've had to do this all by hand. So, all the holes were hand punched. Everything was cut to shape and size by hand. So, very traditional today. And this is the last sheath of the day. I've made 5 sheaths today. It's supposed to only make 4, but I had to remake one because at the very end, after I dyed it and everything, I wanted to heat it up so that the wax would soak in a little bit better, because I normally heat my sheaths up. And I made a terrible mistake. Didn't have a heat gun, so I used the microwave. And I only put it on for 20 seconds. But that 20 seconds was enough to absolutely kill one of the sheaths. I managed to save the other 2. One of them was unaffected, but the other one had some shrinkage, but wasn't too bad, so I salvaged it. But yeah, don't heat your leather in the microwave. Lesson learned. But yes, my hands are fairly sore after 5 sheaths in a day, all done by hand. Punching through 3 layers of tooling leather with a diamond punch is a massive pain in the ass, I can tell you that much. Not so much the punching part, because you obviously can hit it with a hammer, but the pulling the punch out, that's the hard bit. Almost there. Six-inch stitch. Normally takes me about 20 minutes, thereabouts. Oh, 10 minutes apparently. I'm getting a lot faster than I used to be. Yeah, it's been a long one. Hey, Robert. Hey, Bobby, how you going? So yeah, 5 of these today. I mean, they are just pouch sheaths. They're not full circle sheaths. Just jabbed myself under the thumbnail with the needle. Coming up to the end here. Last 2 holes. It's always nice when you get to the end. Let's see what I'm doing. You're not looking at my face. In through the right. Hey, Wayne. Yeah, taco sheaths. My hands aren't liking me for sure. And I backstitch 1 at the tip just to cover my bases. And I don't need to burn it because the knots are hidden inside the sheath. Try not to cut the surface there. There we are. That's the sheath. Now I'll just get some 400 grit sandpaper to sand the edge. Hey Lauren, have a good one, mate. I'll show you that in a second. Bash. 3 stitches back. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can do that for extra security. I find that 1 is fine for me, but to each their own. Get rid of those raggy bits. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm just going to moisten it with a wet rag. Do the wipey thing. This also shows me if there's any waxy parts, which there are a couple. It's okay. Getting wax on the sheath isn't too bad, but it does cause troubles when you want to obviously put your stain on or your dye. Wax and glue is waterproof. Okay, so now it's moistened, and for this one we're going to do dark brown dye. And we'll just paint it on. I like to be nice and liberal with my die coats, because I don't like doing multiple layers. And I don't mind a little bit of splotchiness, it kind of adds to the character of the piece. It's eventually going to wear in and it's all going to be pretty average. Oh yeah. Lambskin, nice. On my higher end stuff, I tend to put a lot more effort in, like tooling and a whole bunch of other stuff to make it nice. But given that I wanted to make these sheaths simply effective and not expensive, I chose for simplicity. Because I'm hoping that these sheaths will help the knives that I made to go with them move quickly, and I don't have the money or time to spend waiting for these sales to go through, so I have to be a little bit faster on production than I would normally like to be. Not to say these sheaths are going to be bad, but they are going to be no frills. Hey DK. It's not that late, it's only 10 o'clock. I've been up later. Sorry you guys, I know you guys can't see this. I'm just trying to lather it on as quickly as I can. Nope. I really like my dark browns. I'd love to get some tan dye. Some like British tan. And some mahogany leather dyes. But at the moment, all I have is dark brown or black. So, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. The black ends up coming dark brown anyway because of the way that the leather shines through. Unless you do multiple coats of the black to make it nice and deep pitch black. And I like to dye the mouth of the thing, but obviously inside stays undyed because the dye tannins are really bad for the steel. Okay. Okay. Now I just let that sink in for a little bit. Dark brown and darker brown, exactly right. And while this is still damp-ish, I like to give it a rub and buff with a clean cloth to take off any excess pigment that didn't make it into the leather. This is especially bad with raven oil dyes. Raven oil dye tends to, a lot of the pigment tends to stay on the surface. This is a deep penetrating dye, so I'm not worried about this one, but yeah. And now, while it's still moist, we get my handy dandy antler, which has been mirror polished, and we buff the ever-loving crap out of the edge. This is what I use for my burnishing. I have thought about making a burnishing tool for my dad's wood lathe, which is sitting in the shed next to me. But I find this does a pretty good job. You can see, like, this end isn't burnished, but then as I roll it, you can see the shininess that the burnish gets. And you can do this while it's moist. Well, it's wet, then not wet, but you know, damp. Then you'll close those pores, and I do this step, and then I wait for the sheath itself to dry, and then I will heat this up with a heat gun. I'll go get my heat gun from the shop tomorrow. I'll let this dry overnight, and I get my heat gun from the shop, and what I'll do is heat it up and apply a layer of Renaissance wax, and the heat just helps it soak into the pores, and then I'll buff it. And then that should turn into something like that. The reason this one's a little classier than this one's just, this one's for an EDC blade. This one's for this brown canvas micarta stone-washed Hunter. And it has retention. Like, I'm not getting that out. Nice slim fit. Nice narrow. And it's upper thigh carry, like upper hip carry. And then, yeah, easy removal, easy return, easy done. Never store your knives in their sheaths. This knife is this one. See that, Robert? So this one is Curly Jarrah. It's actually got a hand sanded perimeter Hunter, and that's what this sheath is for. So that will go in there. The wood is sealed, so I'm not worried about it. I won't leave it in there because who knows what kind of nastiness might happen to the steel. In the meantime, there you go. Got a little impression of the wood. So yeah, that one will be up on the store tomorrow then. This one actually has my mark in it, but the other three do not have my mark in it, but they are all EDC. So you got the brown canvas micarta, black and white G10, which I really like this one. I like the look of it. Kind of looks like shark skin. And green and black, which that crap is just cut off leather. Anyway, yeah. Green and black G10. And all three of these have sheaths. Now. But yeah, this was just a quick stream just to show you how I go about stitching a sheath. So I'm going to let this dry, and then, yeah, tomorrow I'll wax and buff it, but it's pretty much done. Ready for oiling. And that being said, guys, I'm going to jump off. This was literally a very fast half-hour stream just to increase the hours on my YouTube channel. I'm sorry I haven't had a lot of content up recently. There's been a lot of struggles on the back end, but this is hopefully going to get me out of the hole that I'm in right now. These knives will hopefully sell and get me out of the hole that I'm in, and I'll be able to take a breath and actually start working on content rather than worrying about making money. That would be nice. Anyway, if you're interested in buying any of these, check my Etsy store out. I still have one hammer available there. I also have a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to go live on Instagram in about 5 minutes and play some songs for a little bit because I feel bored and I really want to play some music again. So I might see you over there, and if I don't, have a fantastic week. Bye, guys.